Where we at, baby? Uh, uh, Shout out to the Yeti crew, ladies and gentlemen. Big salute to my boy Robert Morris. I see you, baby. What's going on with you? I will not disclose the contents that's in the cup, but ladies and gentlemen, you already know what it is. What is good? What is good? What is good, beautiful people? Of course, you know who I be, the good doc, Dr. Mike TV. Back again, once again, with an instant classic, ladies and gentlemen. Every single time I say that my videos are instant classics, I kind of mean it. Like, I don't just say that because I think it sounds good. I honestly believe in my heart of hearts that the video I'm going to produce is going to be better than the last, ladies and gentlemen. That is the observation that I have every time I come through on a tube. All right. Official time check. 11:48 in the PM Eastern Standard Time, which makes it about 10:48 Eastern. I'm sorry, 10:48 Central, which makes it about 8:48 for everybody repping that West Coast, and of course, 11:48 in the AM Philippine Standard Time, wherever you guys are reporting in the world today. But I mean, salamat sa lahat, and thank you guys for joining the good doc. Ainsley, you stumbled on the wrong channel, boo boo. you eliminate yourself immediately because I don't think this is gonna be for you. But welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dr. Mike TV channel. First timers to the channel. Make sure you guys get the likes up. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you notify. Make sure you caress, molest, distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it. It needs it. Most definitely has to have it. Doc is in the exact same place he was last time. Got a go bag ready, and I ain't going nowhere. That's the beautiful thing about traveling, ladies and gentlemen. One of the things that I've noticed about traveling is you got to be ready to go at all times. All right. And yours truly is ready to go at a moment's notice. All right. I got a couple clothes in there, the bare essentials and stuff. Got the passport in the front pocket just in case your boy's ready to leave. But I've been getting a lot of questions lately. I'm trying to open a chat, guys. Give me a second. But I've been getting a lot of questions lately about how safe the Philippines is. Like, is it safe to travel? What is it like for African-American men? You seen an individual ask me about that on the live stream yesterday. And I really wanted to take a moment to actually dive into that particular topic of conversation. The reason why I wanted to really get into it is because I've never really made it a live stream. I might have put out maybe 2, maybe 3 videos or so in referencing to that particular topic of conversation. But there's a lot that goes into being a foreigner in the Philippines. It's something that I think you guys need to actually pay attention to. So we're going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Just give me a minute. I got to try to get everything set up, live stream stuff. I got to get my live chat popping, all of the good things. Just give me about a split second and we're going to get with it and back at it like a crack addict, okay? Make sure that's saved. Are we good? All right, come on. This computer moving slow. Once it's saved, I could get the business. All right, cool. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about safety issues in the Philippines, okay? I think this is very, very, very important to foreigners in general. And you know what's interesting? These types of topics of conversation is not just generated or geared towards foreign men. This is for foreign women as well that choose to travel to the Philippines as well. So this type of topic of conversation is all inclusive. And I think that everybody can get something beneficial from this topic of conversation. The reason why I opted to make this a live stream instead of a video is because I encourage full participation. I understand that the Dr. Mike TV channel is somewhat of a spectator sport, so y'all just like to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show for the most part. But I want you guys to participate because I think that I may say things that may be well known. I may say some things that may not be well known. I may miss some things. And I think that it's important that anybody looking to travel, more specifically to the Philippines, not necessarily just at this time, but at any time, there's a lot that goes into traveling. And there's a lot that I think you guys need to pay attention to in reference to getting over there. And today I wanted to talk about foreigner safety in the Philippines. Are you guys really at risk? And, the types of things that I think that you guys should avoid. All right, big salute to everybody in the chat. Y'all know the rules. Make sure y'all caress, molest, and distress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. You guys want to support the good doc and his travels, I'm fucking with you. Please feel free to do so. But of course, I am happy and blessed you choose to come through and spend some time with the doctor today. Hey, yo, shout out to my man Pedro. Shout out to my man Robert. You want to know what's funny? I can actually go pop, pop on that thing every time I feel like I want to, but we're not going to get into that today. All right, so let's talk about foreigner safety in the Philippines. Guys, like I said, a lot of people have been really asking me about this topic of conversation. Am I safe as a foreigner in the Philippines? The overall general answer will always be yes. I think that myself and others that have been to the country would not continuously go to the country if they were at risk, or if there were situations that they deemed unsuitable or unfittable, even if that's not a word, for them to be able to go to the Philippines, right? So I'm like, the answer is yes. It's very safe there. But there are certain things that you need to look out for. There are certain things that I, as a foreigner, do not do in the Philippines. I'm going to lay out a few things that I personally do not do as a foreigner in the Philippines. Number one, basically going into things that I would avoid. Are you at risk? You're only at risk if you find yourself in situations that could potentially put you at risk. And these are some situations that I think could put you at risk. Number one, drinking in public after hours. One of my most popular fucking videos on YouTube right now, and again, I don't have many. I got maybe 2 or 3 that popped, but one of the most popular videos that I have on the tube right now is the altercation that took place between the U.S. troops and the Philippine military police. In that particular video, that all started about 2:30, 2:40 in the morning, a.m. time, whatever day it was, and 2, it started because of alcohol. It started because of alcohol in the system, and somebody was touching somebody's beer. Ironically, if you see the video, and I say this in the video, the guy whose beer got touched, he wasn't even the one being the aggressor. He was already passed out. He was looking like he was having a great time. But whenever it's late night and alcohol is involved, I've often come to find out, anywhere in the world, not just in the Philippines, but anywhere in the world, I've come to find out when alcohol and early morning activities are involved, nothing really comes of it. All right. Nothing really good comes out of the situation. If I'm going to drink, it's going to be with a limited number of people, a handful. I can count them all on one hand. Number one. And number two, it's going to be probably within the confines of a house, like where I'm staying or where I know some friends are staying. Because what I found out is going out in the middle of the night or going out to drink at your favorite local watering hole in the middle of the night, whether it be in a provincial area or something like that, it doesn't always end well. But I also have to take into consideration that it does depend on the area in which you are choosing to partake in these activities. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that everywhere that you go 2:30 in the morning, you're almost expected to have problems, issues, or concerns if you're drinking. I mean, if you're kicking it in the area like Makati or like BGC and places like that, and you're going to bars and clubs like that in those areas, maybe you're less likely. I'm not going to say that you will not, but you're probably less likely to run into any issues or concerns, especially if you're with an upscale crowd, especially if you're with a place that has ample security, and especially if you're in a place where the vibes are good. I think that when you walk into a building, trust me when I tell you, you can go into places, you'll understand when the vibe is good and when the vibe is bad. Trust me. If you've learned to read the room anywhere in the world, you'll know when you need to get the heck up out of there, or if it's a cool place for you to be able to grab a drink, scope the scene, see what's going on. I don't know, try to talk to some females or whatever. You'll get the idea. And that's referencing to drinking anywhere in the Philippines. Now, if you're in the province, guys, there have been stories. There have been stories. And you will probably get more and more stories about foreigners acting up in provincial local watering holes and getting effed up. Okay? You will hear stories about guys going to local watering holes, getting drunk, probably doing something belligerent. The locals don't like it. And they get yeeted. I mean, just being real, ladies and gentlemen, they're gone, or something happens and they get their ass kicked badly. It happens probably more often than none, but it's interesting how little we actually hear about it, guys. We do not hear about foreigners getting, how can I say this? Not often. I'm not saying that you don't, but it's not often that you hear about foreigners, getting their ass kicked because they was messing with maybe a local girl. I don't know, guys. Whatever province you're living in, you don't hear about those often. All right, you don't hear about them often, mainly because they want foreigners to continue to come into the country. That's probably why you don't hear a lot of stories about that. But like John said, man, alcohol and Pinoys do not mix. They do not. Filipinos, I love them to death. I like to preface this before I even say anything because I know exactly what's going to happen when I say something like this. Somebody's likely to get triggered. I love my fellow Filipino brethren. I do. It's my second home. I spend a lot of time there. But Filipinos are emotional and sensitive as hell. And I'm not just talking about the females, guys. I'm talking about the dudes as well. I am talking about the guys as well. They're hella sensitive and they're hella emotional. And when I say this, I'm telling you, the minute you say something that is of an issue or a concern to them, or something that pisses them off, or something that requires them to save face, which is a loosely translated term as, don't embarrass them in front of others or something like that. When they're put in a situation where they have to save face, they get emotional and you don't know exactly what that response is going to be. That's even without alcohol. Add alcohol to it, ladies and gentlemen. You are looking at some serious issues. And imagine if it's more than just one of them. Man, you could probably handle one. But talking about 2, 3, 4, 5, because they travel in packs and groups, I'm not going to put it past them that if you find yourself in a drunken situation with Filipinos in the wee hours of the morning, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that you're going to come out of that thing unscathed. Hopefully you're able to make it out with your life, but you're going to probably catch it. You're going to probably catch that ass whooping. You're going to catch them hands. Somebody going to deliver them hands to you. And who knows, man? You know how Filipinos are, man. They love Manny Pacquiao, so they be in the gym just boxing it up on your ass and shit. I'm an MMA guy, so I'm throwing in elbows and shit. But it's just hard, all right? And I'm telling you, these are situations that I would avoid. Number one, early morning in the hour, alcoholic drinks in local watering holes, more so in the province than, in your city areas. Number two, as I've seen you guys mention a lot in the chat, you got to be respectful, guys. If you are respectful, they will respect you. If there's one thing that I've noticed about Filipino people, and I can say this honestly, I can really say this with as much honesty as I humanly possibly can. Filipinos are not mad that foreigners visit the Philippines. They're not upset. They're not pissed off. They're not angry. Probably like some other people might be when foreigners come into their country and mess with their women or something like that. They're never really too upset about foreigners coming in. Now, when I say this loosely because I've been a foreigner coming into the country and I've been inside taxis and, you have people, the drivers, if they're not trying to screw you over, they'll be nice to you. They'll be like, yo, my brother, welcome to our country, and they'll, and it's a welcoming feeling, guys. Anybody who's ever been to the Philippines, you guys understand it's definitely a welcoming feeling. Any foreigner that has ever been in the country will probably get the exact same vibe. I've probably never heard anybody say that when they first got to the Philippines, they were not welcomed, with open arms. Maybe it's because you got money. I don't know. But the Philippine vibe when you first get here is very welcoming. It's only when you say and or do something to disrespect the people and or the culture when people start to get a shifty ass attitude towards you and they start looking at you sideways. 1 second. That's when they start looking at you differently. And that's when they start with the verbal undertones or the verbal attacks on you as a foreigner. They like you until you F up. I'll tell you that right now. They give you positive vibes until you mess up. Okay. So you'll have a lot of people that'll come to the country and maybe, Robert, yo, guess who's making his return, baby? The Dr. Mike TV Cup. Have you ever seen a motherfucker so vain? I'm sorry, man. I ain't never met a man so vain in my life by myself. Anyways, back to the topic at hand. I thought you saw it, man, Robert. I showed it when I first came in. But I've just learned over time that it's very risky for you to go out to bars and clubs and things like that. And it's very risky when you say things like, or when you say things without thinking, and you may not think that it comes off as disrespectful, but when it does come off as disrespectful, you'll see the whole vibe of the energy of the people that you're hanging around with change. I have plenty of Filipino friends. I just don't hang out with all of them at the exact same time. Again, I have plenty of them. It's just something I don't do. I don't hang out with a lot of them at the exact same time unless we all know each other. Because you never understand and you'll never know until the situation actually comes up what could potentially happen or what could potentially turn out to be negative. So again, early morning drinking, 2 a.m., bars, local Filipino bars, avoid that at all costs. Avoid using disrespectful tones or disrespectful verbiage, wordage, or something like that. Because again, I've seen bad situations turn worse as a result of people just coming out and saying some ignorant shit. Okay, when I say ignorant shit, I've heard some ignorant shit. And my man Pedro, what's good? My man says I stick to coffee shops and hookah lounges. You want to know what's interesting about this? I've told a story about a foreigner that was in Starbucks. And of course, I use Starbucks because I'm invested in Starbucks, and my girl loves Starbucks. All right, so I was in Starbucks just chilling, me and my young lady and whatnot. And there was a foreigner that was upset. He had an accent, so I wouldn't say he was American or anything, but he just had this really shitty attitude about everything. And I think what he did is he tried to order one of them fancy orders, like, I need a double shot of this, half shot of that. Those very specific orders that you probably hear when you go to a Starbucks in the United States, right? So what ended up happening was the girl got the order wrong. And I mean, what do you expect in the Philippines, man? Tell me the truth. What do you expect? Honestly, press one. Press one if you expect Filipinos to get your order right the first time when you go to a coffee shop or anywhere to eat. Honestly, tell me, do you expect Filipinos to honestly get your order right the first time when you go to a coffee shop or anywhere? Press one if yes, press two if no. Be honest. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourselves. Do you ever expect Filipinos to get your order right anywhere that you go? They just don't, okay? You might expect them to get it right, but they just don't, okay? They just don't. You might have an expectation for it to be right, but most of the time, they're going to get it wrong, okay? They going to get it wrong because that's just it. And especially if you speak English, bro, it's a problem, B. Like you're gonna find yourself frustrated a lot in the Philippines, okay? Like if you're going to like a Carinderia and you're ordering a local dish, maybe you might have a potential chance of them getting it right. But most of the time, even though you expect it to go right, things always seem to go left, right? When you expect it to go right, things seem to go left. And it's just, I've learned over time that if orders are specific, if it's a regular order, dope. But when things tend to be super specific, I can't sit there and expect them to actually get the order right. And I'm just being honest and truthful with myself because they're just probably not used to it. And heaven forbid, you say something in English and maybe their English is not great. I'm not saying Filipinos don't speak English, but maybe their English is not the greatest of the great in the moment. So you're going to come across some people that may look at you sideways with the dumb stare. I call it the dumb blank stare. And the minute they hit you with that shit, that's when you know you caught them. That's when you know you caught them like a deer in headlights, ladies and gentlemen. Ain't nothing you can do about it then. But what I tell people often and what I will continue to tell individuals is you have got to refrain from overreacting. I repeat, you have got to refrain from the overreaction. And in the situation with the guy at the Starbucks, going back into that story, he had an overreaction. Like he was angry and you could hear him. And I know Jerry has plenty of stories. Shout out to Philippines and beyond. I know he's probably got plenty of stories where he's heard foreigners lose their shit too on Filipino people. And it's not really that serious, but bruh, it happens, and there's nothing you can really do about it, but you have these foreigners who tend to cut a fool, act up, act belligerent, and again, it goes back to the thing, what I tell you not to do, were things to avoid, disrespecting Filipino people and culture. It becomes something that is way blown out of proportion that maybe you did not expect, and maybe things really didn't go the way that you hoped that it would. So all of a sudden you want to get angry or belligerent. Maybe you're having a bad day. Don't allow your bad days to affect your relationships with people in the country. Because if there's one thing that I know, in any local area, most Filipinos know about you before you know about them. Sounds crazy. I know it's going to sound crazy, but most Filipinos will know about you before you know about them in most of your local provincial type areas. Bruh, you show your face in town. If you show yourself at the Mercado or the the wet market and shit, they're going to know about you before you know about them. So let's say you're the type of guy who is known for frequenting certain places, and you're used to having multiple girls or something, or people are used to seeing you with one girl one day and then another girl the next. You're going to develop a reputation for yourself before you even think that you're developing a reputation for yourself. Seeing it happen to the worst of them. It happened to me, and it was by accident. I mean, I might be in school and having conversations with my classmates, my female classmates, and all of a sudden Mike's dating this chick before I even know that I'm dating her, right? So you got to understand how quick Filipinos are to judge and how quick they are to assume some shit. And you know what they say, when you assume, baby, you make an ass out of you and me. So I would hope that you wouldn't assume, and I would hope that you would conduct yourself in a manner in which, if you're really trying to preserve your image or your reputation, if you care about it, I would avoid being seen with like multiple girls too. Because again, that could be considered a foreigner coming through and trying to disrespect the women, disrespect the culture and things like that. Granted, there are some free-spirited Filipinas that are open and willing to do a lot of things. It's just that when you throw it in their face, it kind of comes off a bit fucked up. That's all I'm going to say. It comes off a bit rudish, just a minute, and that's why I try to tell you guys to avoid that as well. But as I'm sitting here sipping my whatever is in my cup, 30 in the building, man. I appreciate all 30 of you guys coming through and showing love to the good doc. Y'all make sure y'all get the likes up. Make sure y'all caress, molest, de-stress yourself all over that like button. It wants it, it needs it, most definitely has to have it. Guys want to support the channel, please feel free to do so. But of course, I am happy and blessed you choose to come through. Spend a little bit of time with your boy today. Now and then. Links in the description area below, guys. If you haven't gotten your boy's ebooks, you're sleeping. If you haven't gotten your paperback books, you're sleeping on some of the best content ever made. All right, so all of that stuff is linked in the description area below. Patreon, all of the good shit, man. Everything that you need to know to be well-versed in the good doc's repertoire of things that he's got going on in his life, guys. Links in the description area below. But we'll get back to it in a minute. I'm going to go to comments in a second. Just give me a minute. Damn, that Yeti keeps my shit cold, bro. Anyways, let me shout out my people that I see coming in, man. I'm sorry, guys. 32 in the building, man. Y'all make sure y'all get those likes up. Shout out to my man, Robert Morris. Shout out to Larnie. I appreciate you guys coming through. My man. John, always a pleasure. My man, Edward Crandell. Much love to you. Miss Noreen, I hope that you're back to your game. Mr. Smith, man, much love to you, brother. I didn't forget to call you. I just got to get the number again. I didn't forget you, but I see you, family. Much love to you. Like John says, don't drink with local Filipinos, you'll be okay. My man Don Ridgway, my man Reginald Graham, my brother Pedro was good. Pedro, honestly, treat people with respect. Don't show off, and you should be fine. Oh, we're going to get into the flashiness. We're going to get into the flashy nature of most Filipinos. I mean, most foreigners in the Philippines. All right, we're going to get into that in just a minute. Shout out to my man Jerry from Philippines and Beyond. Y'all read the comment. That's one thing you should never do. Don't ever do that. I'm going to just leave that on the screen. Just don't ever do that. Don't ever don't ever have one girl next to you while you're trying to text another one, okay? That's all I'm going to tell you not to do. That's definitely something to avoid. My man Jerry says, how about the foreigner that got shot for not buying a few locals around the beers at lunchtime? These are stories that we don't hear. Like, to be honest with you, these are stories, that don't make it to the United States. Unless you really literally go through and search for these stories are not well-known stories. And because of that, I think that these types of stories deter or potentially deter foreigners from coming to the Philippines, first timers. So they really want to try to suppress any of the stories that make them look negative in any light. And again, that's respectful. I mean, that's in every country. And I don't want the selective few or the chosen few to read these stories and think that that's really what's going to happen to them. If anything, take what's happening and use it as a learning lesson. That's the best thing that we can tell them. If you're really concerned about your safety as a foreigner in the Philippines, I say avoid local bars where Filipinos drink, like where it's specifically what it's set up for Filipinos to drink. Avoid local bars and avoid going out 2-3 o'clock in the morning in places where you're not familiar. I'm not gonna say that you're going to be safe in areas like Makati and Greenbelt and BGC. I'm not gonna say that. But I have been able to walk around those areas in Manila, and I'm speaking more specifically about Manila, and have felt relatively safe. Now, I say the same about Davao. Anywhere that you go in Davao, I'm not going to certify it, but I think that you're going to be relatively safe, guys. I made walking videos of myself walking around Davao City at night. I've never felt any safer than anything. I mean, there's police damn near everywhere. Like I said, you'll see security guards that guard banks. They're out and about, so they still got their shotguns on, even though I don't think them guns work. They look like they're more props than they actually work, but they're there. And, that presence, what scares a lot of people is really not necessary. Like, you really shouldn't be scared, man, to see, your Philippine guards that monitor banks and stuff in the wee hours of the night or in the early part of the morning. They're there to protect the bank, but to see them around, it makes me feel safe, because if somebody run up on me and he see it, I'm pretty sure he's going to react. I don't know how he's going to react, but I'm pretty sure he's going to react. He'll probably wake up, because most of the time they be sleeping in the middle of the night, but it's just good to have that presence. And it's so different than the US, guys. It's so much different, yo. It's crazy. It is the craziest thing. I'm going to note this very briefly, because I don't want to focus on this topic of conversation, because this is not exactly where this topic of conversation is going. But I did make live streams before that really explained to you guys in brief, but in detail. It was very brief detail. How safe I feel, how much more safe I feel in the Philippines than I do in the US. I talked about that. I do. And the reason that I feel that level of safety is because I'm not really concerned about the police over there. I'm not concerned about the military police over there. I'm talking about the guys that carry the AK-47s. I'm talking about your mall security guards. I'm talking about, your PNPs, your Philippine National Police. Man, most of my classmates after graduation, they joined PNP. So now I got a direct line to that shit. If my connection with that situation wasn't already good, it got better. So for me to feel like I got to be scared of the police in the Philippines is just ridiculous. Okay. So that's one thing that I want you guys to understand as a foreigner in the Philippines, especially being African-American. That is one thing you never have to worry about. They are all for you. Like, yo, my brother, yo, my friend. They're probably no different than your actual local regular Filipinos will respond to you. So the guys in uniform, they probably won't respond to you any different than your locals, or not your locals, but like any other type of Filipino that's in non-uniform will respond to you. As long as you're respectful, man, I could walk up, give a pound to the guy in the military uniform, and that made his day. It's the craziest thing, the smallest things. It's the little shit that counts. And I think this is where this particular topic of conversation will become very defining for a lot of people. Maybe you'll pick up what I'm putting down, maybe you won't. But it's the little shit. The little shit that you do, the little interactions that you have with Filipinos that could really make their day. It could make your day as well. I'll walk down the street, really. I see like some dudes in uniform and shit. I give them the head nod. I'm like, what's up? What's up, my brother? Or I'll give them a pound. Like, yo, like, how you guys doing, man? Y'all having a good day? Just having that brief interaction with them, being your positive self. That could make your day better than anything. And once people know, yo, this black dude's kind of cool, or, this type dude's kind of cool, that interaction with them is enough to change your whole day and enough to change your landscape, because right then and there, I promise you this, those guys are going to have your back, whether you know them or not. I'm telling you, if shit pops off, those are the people you want in your corner. Okay. I'm just laying it out, period. And whether you know them, whether you get their number or whatever, that's neither here nor there. But just those interactions that you have with them on a daily basis, man. Don't walk around like you need to be scared of them. Shit, man. Just say what's up to them when you see them, because literally they like interacting with foreigners. It's just the truth. I mean, if you got the mug or they're like trying to do their job or something like that, don't fuck with them too much. But it's those small interactions that I promise you will change the landscape and the dynamic of your time in the Philippines, and it'll definitely change the landscape of your feeling of safety and putting yourself at risk or not being at risk, and things like that. It'll definitely change a lot of that when you have these small brief interactions with people, because again, I told you before, the Philippines, it's big but it's small. People talk in your area. People are going to know about you people will know about you before you know about them. So they'll hear, yeah, man, that black dude's kind of cool, man. Yeah, you talking about the black dude, bald dude with the glasses and no eyebrows? Yeah, yeah, he's cool. They may not know me by name, but they'll know me by description. And like I said, depending on the area in which you live in, that could definitely do you favors. It could help you more than it can harm you, is the best way for me to say. All right. Larnie, you say treat them good and they'll treat you good, but always have limitations. Yep. If you treat, always have limitations, man. Don't go out buying Filipinos drinks. Okay. That's the limitation right there. Don't go out buying drinks for these guys. I have local guys in my neighborhood that I can't avoid. Okay. Not going to lie. When I was living out in Toril, when I was in Davao City, Davao del Sur area, I couldn't avoid them because they live like right down the street from my house, and I got to walk past them to get home. So every night, yo, my brother, come join us, come have a drink with us, Couldn't avoid it. Okay. So I used to tell myself, I'll try my best to passively let them know I'm good. I don't want anything. I'm good. I got work. I got to get up, got to go to school in the morning. I can't drink. I would come up with whatever excuse that I could. But if I couldn't avoid it, if I could not avoid the drink, I would go over there and take the shot. Because sometimes these guys, when they're drunk, it's not that they're aggressive, but they're very pushy. Like, fuck it, man. Just get your ass over here or else. And it kind of felt like that from time to time. So if I could not avoid getting a drink or taking a shot with them, take the shot. And I'll say, yo, next round's on me, guys. And drop like 20 pesos on the table and leave. I would do that. I mean, literally, dude, what the fuck is 50 cents? You feel me? What is really 50 cents? I try my best to avoid them, or I try my best to come home either after they finish drinking because they did this shit every day, or try to beat them before they get started because they used to work around a certain time frame. It's like a job for them. Like, yo, they would drink around a certain time frame and be done. But if I couldn't avoid them, if I could not avoid them, what is really 50 cents to me? 50 cents is not worth my life. And I'm not saying that they were threatening my life or anything, but 50 cents is not worth the altercation. And I say it's 50 cents because 50 to the dollar, etc. So, what's really 50 cents? Drop a 20 on. I would make sure I have a 20 in my pocket at all times. And what's a dub? I mean, what's 20 pesos, bro? Like, yo, next round's on me, guys. Y'all have a good one. Got to go home, got to study, got to go to work or do something. I'll make up an excuse. And, after that, it'll be done. I didn't do this every day, of course. Maybe every other day, maybe once a week. I'd probably do that. And if I was going to do that, I would take more than one shot because I would say, fuck it, man. I would drop 20 pesos on the table, take like 2 shots and go, because I would say, hell, at least I got my money's worth. I just paid for the shots that I took of the drink. And you guys know Red Horse and stuff. It's not really that expensive, or at least it wasn't at that time. Or your San McLights wasn't really expensive. So that 20 or maybe even a 50, if I wanted to cover, because it's usually a small group of like 3 to 5 people, maybe a 50, and I'll cover the drink charge and keep it pushing. So it wasn't really a lot of people, but like you said, you got to have your limitations. And one of those limitations that you have to have is you cannot buy drinks for Filipino people, because it'll become an expectation. Like every single time they see you, they're going to think they're going to get drinks out of you. So make sure you and avoid that at all costs. Shout out to my man Pedro. Appreciate you. My man Black Torch, I see you. I know I'm late in the check. I came all the way back to the beginning. All you need to know is respect begets respect. That's our principles. As long as you respect Filipinos, Filipinos will respect you 100%. I'm with you on that one. My man Green Newbie, what's going on? You and my man Pedro coming up from up north out there in Canada. What's up with you guys? I generally behave when I travel to other countries. I want to be able to leave those countries in one piece. Always a good rule of thumb, man. Always a good thought process to have. I got to behave so that I can leave this bitch. Like, because have you guys ever seen Locked Up Abroad? those shows normally end up with the person surviving the trip, but they go through some shit before they're able to get out. Sometimes they spend some time in jail. And I don't know if you guys know what Philippine jail is like. It's bad. Okay. I've seen it. It's horrible. Don't ever go to Philippine jail. Ever. Nobody should ever want or desire or do anything to put themselves in Philippine jail. Note that. Please note that. All right. John, if a stranger is overly friendly to you, it is a red flag, 100%. I don't like anybody being too friendly to me. I don't care if you're female or not. I'm like, I said, I don't want that. I tell the chick straight up, I don't want that. I don't want it that bad. You understand? I'm not that desperate. So you keep that. You keep that one. All right. Jerry says a restaurant owner he knows got shot because he threw out a drunk Filipino out of his bar. He now always travels with a bodyguard. Yo, if you got business in the Philippines, guys, unfortunately, you're probably not going to be able to do too much work without having a bodyguard. If you have any type of business as a foreigner in the Philippines, you're going to need a bodyguard. It sounds effed up, but like I said, that's one of the sacrifices with your finances that you're going to have to make if you choose to have a business in the Philippines. That's something that if you're really like out there and you really if you're really making a name for yourself or you're doing something or a part of an industry like a bar or something like that, or something where you have competition that people may not like, or if you have patrons of your bar that kind of seem to get belligerent and whatever, bastos, and my Filipinos will understand what that means. If they're those types of people, you're going to need your security. So that's just a necessary sacrifice, aka a necessary expense. As a bar owner in the Philippines, you're going to need security. You're going to have one guy that's going to walk you from your door to your house, whatever. You're going to need one of them guys, okay? So, hey, he's just got to pay that cost. Pedro, you're right. A simple sorry does go a long way. As you can tell, Doc's not above saying I'm sorry at all. People think that makes me simpish, but hey, man, it gets me out of a lot of trouble, and I guess that's the reason why I do it so much. Yo, 28 in the building, guys. Make sure you get the likes up. I see 18 likes and 2 dislikes. For the 2 that dislike me, thank you for showing that you actually have an emotional response to the good doc. That means that I am touching you in one way, shape, or form, whether it be in the most disrespectful way humanly possible. At least you feel it. I'm not going to go any further into that one. Damn. Hey. Shout out to my man Robert Morris. Hey, bro, it's still cold. It's still cold. Put that bitch in there an hour ago, and it's still cold. Let's get right. Back up. I know I'm late in the chat, guys. Don't kill your boy. Just don't. Okay. Yo, there's a lot of people I missed. Okay, I'm back at it. I got you. I caught up. He says I'm surprised they put coffee in my Starbucks coffee. My man says, like asking for Coke, no ice. Boom, you gonna get some ice. Exactly. So you can't expect that all of these things are ever going to actually go the way that you want them to. Emma from Davao. What? Shout out to all my Davaoinas. Love y'all to death, man. Y'all know I'm very, very choosy over my Filipinas, and I love Davaoina women. Davaoinos. Even though my girl is from Surigao del Sur. I don't know how that works, but fuck it. We do what we do best, man. That's true. You might not get your shot in Starbucks, but at least you likely won't get shot in Starbucks because they do not put Starbucks in provincial areas or like areas where you like fucked up areas, I should say. Miss Espinosa, how you doing? She says, good morning, Dr. Mike and everyone. I used to work in a Korean restaurant. It's more harder when the customers don't speak English. Oh, yeah. If you have a lot of Koreans that come to your restaurant because it is a Korean restaurant, it's going to be difficult. That is a language barrier that a lot of people can't cross. They just point at pictures, though. At least make sure you have a menu with pictures so that they can just point at whatever they want to, okay? Because likely, as funny as this sounds, but in a Korean restaurant like Mana or Mana, however you pronounce it in the Philippines, it's not likely that these people are going to actually be able to speak Korean. It's just, it is what it is. But I appreciate you being here, baby. Thank you for showing some love. Larnie, she says you can go anywhere in Filipino bars. There's not a problem that I see on it as long as you know the consequences and know the policy, so you will not get in trouble because liquor on the stomach is not for the head. Okay, yes. I'm with you on that one. I mean, you got to know how to conduct yourself, but there are consequences. There are some consequences to drinking in Filipino bars. I don't do it. Matter of fact, I hate bars. You will not hear about me going out unless I'm literally there to record a video for you guys to watch. That is the only reason I would ever go out. Number one. Number two, I'm never going out without my young lady. That's because she's got me. All right. If anything pops off, she's got me. Like she'll tell me, nah, you don't want to go to that bar. She'll be like, oh, we should try this place instead. You know, she knows her way around, you know, these particular bar areas because she has friends that go there. And, you know, she tells me the prices before I get there. So she knows you ain't gonna want to pay the prices here. You know, let's go to this one instead. You know, so we pretty much have that vibe together. But in reference to going out and drinking, guys, I think you should definitely pick your poison. If that's what you want to do it. Just do it at your own risk. It's all I'm going to tell you. All I'm going to tell you. Shout out to my man, Mike G. Appreciate you. John, don't get me in trouble, man. You know the wife is always watching. The wife and the girlfriend is always watching. Shout out to my man Earl Owens all the way from Tacoma, Washington. Much love to you, brother. My man San Juan got his like up already. Appreciate the love, man. We do what we do best, man. And the best thing I can tell you is that as a foreigner, back to the topic at hand, guys, you gotta have common sense in the Philippines, people. I think that is an overlooked thing. You gotta have common sense. A lot of foreigners don't have common sense in the Philippines. A lot of foreigners don't know how to read a room. A lot of foreigners will go into a bar, probably sit down, get them a drink. They won't even remotely pay attention to the vibe. They won't remotely pay attention to the eyes that are on them. That's the first thing I'm looking at. As a foreigner, black, white, whatever it may be, the first thing I'm looking at is who's looking at me. Trust me, if there's one thing that I notice about Filipinos, and this is the truth, they can't help it, whether they try to help it or not. If there's one thing that I notice about Filipino people is they cannot help but to stare. If you're different or you look different, they can't help it but to stare at you. So you got to look at the people who are staring at you. And try to get the vibe of the people who are looking at you. Some people will look at you like, what the hell is this motherfucker doing in my bar? And some people will just look at you in odd amazement because they've never seen a foreigner before. Or maybe they've never seen a foreigner that looks like you before. You got to know how to read a room, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me. I have walked at the door of bars before, looked in and said, nope, not going to happen. First of all, it's dark as hell. Maybe there's only like 2 or 3 or 4 groups of Filipino guys. Ain't no girls. Whole bunch of dudes. I'm like, man, Doc is not about to enter this sausage factory at all. Again, if there ain't no females around, I'm sorry, I'm not going. It's just truth. And it's not that the reason why I say that is not because I'm trying to pick up on chicks. It's just I feel like, and this may be just me. This may be just me. Maybe Doc is on an island or on his own when this happens. But what I've noticed is guys do not tend to misbehave when there's females around. Like you'll notice that if there's females in the room, a lot of guys will choose to behave or avoid types of conflicts and reactions. If they're girls just having drinks and having fun, they don't want to get them involved or caught up in any type of melee or anarchy or types of situations. So most of the time, not all of the time, but most of the time, I've noticed that when there's females in the room, Filipino guys too, they tend to correct their behavior if they're angry or mad or something like that because they don't want to cause any issues or problems for the females in the room or be disrespectful and things like that. With the exception of the videos where those dudes were hella drunk and, of course, they got into the bar fight with the military police. But I've noticed that most guys, when there's females in the room, they tend to act right. Like I said, if it's one big sausage factory or sausage fest, man, Doc is not signing up for that gig at all. Okay, we ain't doing that one. We're not doing that one. But we didn't talk about the budget. Yeah, man, you got foreigners out here just trying to make it rain. But like he says, they're on a hella micro budget. So their micro budget tends to go a long way because a couple of $100 gets you like 10,000 pesos. So if you can get like a stack of 20s, like about this thick, and you just start making it rain, people will probably start to flock to you. Even if you do it with 100 peso bills, people will probably start to look at you a different way. Even though that's like $2 for you, it's a lot of money for your average. So if you want to be that flashy dude, that's one thing you got to avoid at all costs, ladies and gentlemen. That is one thing you have got to avoid at all costs. The reason why I say you got to avoid it at all costs is because that is a dangerous red flag for yourself. I'm not going to get into that topic of conversation because we've covered that before. But if you want to be flashy, do it. Please, 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 please do it. Go ahead and get this like up. Go ahead and go to the Philippines and pull out a stack of 1,000 peso bills about this thick in front of a local Philippine bar scene and see how that happens for you and see how that works out for you. I encourage you to do it. You want to know why? Because if you want to be that stupid, it comes to you. That's all I'm gonna say. Shout out to you too, Mrs. Smith. Appreciate you coming through. All right. Let's see who else we got in the building, man. Carl, what's good, family? Much love to you, my G. Appreciate you coming through and showing love to the good doc and family. All love to all my Filipino kinfolk and skinfolk. All love to everybody who chooses to come through and handle and deal with my nonsense, because all I do is talk nonsense, man. My man says, do cops ever hit you up for bribes? Yo, is this a safe space, bro? Is this a safe space? Please tell me that this is a safe space. Because I gotta tell, well, I'll be honest with you. Only when I get in trouble do I ever get hit up for bribes. Basically, when I get caught doing an illegal turn or something, I'll tell you right now, I did an illegal U-turn. Knew it was illegal. I got caught. The dude was I assume he was writing the ticket, but he couldn't have been writing the ticket, because when you start writing a ticket in the Philippines, you can't stop it, because again, these tickets are coded like 0-1101, 0-1102, 0-1103. So if you start one and you rip one out, and it's not in order like it's supposed to, that looks bad. So, like, why do you have one ticket ripped out? What happened? Like, once you start writing a ticket, they can't stop. So, apparently, he was right. He was acting as if he wrote the ticket. I pulled out 500 and I gave it to him. It wasn't really a bribe. I just had to pay it because I wasn't about to go down to the LTO office and sit there for hours on end to get a ticket taken care of. I just wasn't going to do it. I wasn't going to do it. I didn't have the time. I didn't have the effort. Didn't have the energy. And to be honest, that whole night was jacked up. Okay. That whole night was just bad. The girl I was dealing with at the time, I hated her. She was just getting on my damn nerves that night. It was bad. It was just a bad night, guys. I'm not going to lie. So yeah, I have been, it wasn't bribed. I just paid them and they took it and they just let me go. I wouldn't call it a bribe. I would just say I paid my bill. I paid the cost. I'll pay the $10 and call it a day. And at that time, I was still hella broke. So that 500 went a long way. So I was bitter about that too. Made the U-turn. I was mad at the chick I was talking to. I was just angry. My life it wasn't a good day. So basically, I lost $10. I was angry. It was just a bad day. So overall, I guess that's what I deserve, right? So yeah, I can say that happens. Now, John, you say avoid PNP at all costs. The PNP and Davao, like I'm saying, I don't go out there and openly try to embrace them and make friends and have them on my call list. No, but if they're around and I see them, I have no problem saying what's up to them. That's what I'll say. I shouldn't say they got to be on your buddy list on Facebook or some shit. Not that type of friendly. Keep it at arm's length, but just be open. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. I didn't. No. Military police, not the PNP carrying like the AK-47s or the replica. I don't know what the hell they be carrying. I'm not a gun enthusiast, man. Sue me. But all I know is that weapon that the weapons that those guys wear in the army fatigues, those weapons. That's the military police, the ones that be at the checkpoints, whatever type of gun they be carrying. That's the gun I'm talking about. I'm not a gun enthusiast. I don't know them shits off the top of my head. But whatever that weapon is, that's what they carry. PNP, they carry sidearms. Yeah, they don't carry no. I didn't say that the PNP or the Philippine National Police. That's not what I meant. That they carry those types of weapons. But we do what we do, man. You know me, I'm always dropping. Hey, John, I'm dropping them 20 peso notes like it's raining in this bitch. Y'all, hey, it don't take much for you to impress small-minded people. Don't you don't want to go? Hey, don't go to a Philippine jail, brother. I've seen it firsthand. It ain't even a toilet, bruh. It's a hole in the floor. Have you ever been to Philippine jail? It's a hole in the floor. And you piss and you shit in that hole. What? It's a hole in the floor. And everybody in that cell has to piss and shit in this hole in the floor. Huh? Has anybody ever tried to take a shit sitting with their like on the floor, like Indian style on the floor? Nah, man, it's crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a bad look. But we do what we do best, ladies and gentlemen. And what I do best is I tell you the truth. I tell you about my experiences overseas. I tell you guys about everything that I got going on in my life. I think that it's important and I think that it's pertinent that if you want to be able to not necessarily ensure, because nothing is ever guaranteed, but if you want to be able to, at the very least, navigate your way through the country without conflict or issue, you just got to follow a few basic rules. Respect. Avoid drinking in local bars. Avoid really being out after hours in places where you could potentially find yourself in danger. It's really not that hard. Places to avoid. Anywhere you go, a lot of people are going to think, oh, I'm at risk, man. These people are looking to get something out of me. They're trying to get me. I think that's that paranoia that you get from the media. My favorite group of people in the world, the media. They don't call it media in the Philippines. They call it media. All right. So all the information that you guys are receiving from the media, it's funny. It kills me. It bugs me out because, you know what really cracks me up about people? And I'm going to be honest with y'all because I'm real. I think, people will tell you this. The person that always says that they're real are probably fake. But I'm going to be as real and clean cut and as honest as I can be with this topic right here. Have you ever noticed how people who be like, they can't stand the pandemic, they'll shit on the pandemic. It's fake. It's fake news. It's fake news. It's this, that, and the other. But turn around and believe the media when they say something about a country in which you're trying to travel to. Have you ever noticed that? Press 1 if you come across people like that. I want to get a 1 or a 2. Press 1 if you've come across people that will sit there and shit on the pandemic, won't believe it, but will believe the first thing that the media says about a country in which they want to travel to. Oh, President Duterte is this. Oh, there's so much crime and violence that in the Philippines. Oh, there's this. Oh, there's that. They'll believe that shit, but won't care a lick, give a gosh darn about anything happening with the pandemic in their own country. So basically, isn't that like hypocritical to an extent? You'll believe what they say about a country you want to travel to, but you won't believe what they say about, COVID-19 and pandemic stuff. What's the word I'm looking for? Where is the, consistency with not believing in the media? That's what I'm saying. Where's the consistency in that shit? You believe Facebook posts and shit, but let somebody post something on Facebook about the pandemic. Fuck them. They lying. Right? I'm like, bruh, that don't make no sense to me. You'll believe that, but so basically what I'm saying is you can't believe everything that you hear. It literally goes both ways. You cannot believe everything that you hear in the media. You cannot believe everything that you see posted on Facebook or posted here or talked about there. You can ask somebody who's been there. You can ask somebody who is living there. You can ask anybody. But why are the first thing you're going to do is believe the first thing that's written on a social media site? But you won't believe it when it comes to something that people have been trying to tell you guys about for the last longest, right? Man, I kind of feel like there's really no consistency there, ladies and gentlemen. There is no consistency whatsoever. I'm like, bruh, how you gonna believe that shit? but you won't believe when somebody tells you, oh, yeah, it's not as bad as you think. Well, that's not what I heard. Right? What? Come on, man. They believe this shit all the time. And it's true. Like, yo, people are really consistent with that one. They will believe what they hear about something when it comes to traveling. But literally something like that, it's like, oh man, well, yeah, I heard of people saying that the cases are up to 1 million. I don't believe that shit. You know, just simple shit. And I'm just using the pandemic as an example. I don't care what you guys believe about it either way. I'm just using it as an example because they won't believe that. They will not believe that. But they'll sure ask me, Doc, I heard this in the news, man. What do you think about this? I said, weren't you just coming to me the other day talking all that nonsense about how the pandemic is bullshit? It's called the pandemic and all that stuff. You was hitting me with some shit. You was giving Doc the uppercut. He's like, fuck that COVID shit, man. They can't touch me. But you scared as hell to go to the Philippines. Yo, tell me, where's the consistency? That's all I ask, bro. Where's the consistency? Where's the consistency in all that? You believe that shit, but you won't believe it. Then don't believe anything that the media tells you. Please, just don't. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Shout out to my man Hellraiser. What's good with you, man? Zerv, you be all over my comments with some undertone shit, man. I'm just gonna let you ride, man. I don't care. If you like me that way, then okay, my G. I ain't got nothing against you, man. Live your truth, homie. I don't really go to bars with my girl, Mr. Smith, but I kind of enjoy a bar every now and again. I should say like a lounge, though. Let me rephrase. I don't really go to bars with my girl, like a lounge area. Like we could eat, have dinner, and have drinks at the exact same time. That's the best way for me to put it. I don't go to a place where we just specifically go there to get drunk or to drink or anything like that. Because literally, when I really start feeling it, dude, I go to sleep. And I'm not going to sleep in a bar. I'm not going to sleep in a taxi, you know? So there's really reasons why I personally don't choose to go out and drink unless I know I got a safe way to get home. Unless I know that I can trust the person that's going to be behind the wheel of the car when I leave and it's not me. Only then will you see your boy, get towed back like a throwback. You feel me? Only then will I do that. But for the most part, I drink a lot at home. You ask my young lady, she knows, man. I'm just the type of person. I go to sleep. Like right after I drink, man, I go to sleep. Because drunk sex don't work for Doc. I know that's TMI, but I'm going to be honest with you. Drunk sex don't work for me. I don't know how many of you guys can pull it off or anybody who's been able to do that. And I mean, you are liquored up from the ticker up. Liquored up from the ticker up. If you can have drunk sex, dude, you deserve a round of applause. Because I've tried it and it's hard, ladies and gentlemen. It is difficult. Because all I'm thinking about while the room is spinning is, yo, when is this about to be over? That's the first thing I'll be thinking about. I'll be begging. I'll be like, yo, man, just stop. Let's just go to bed. I think about that stuff, but maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Because again, Doc thinks about random shit all the time. John, just buy some booze, take your rental girlfriend to your condo. Yeah, drink at home, never out in public, for sure. The foreigner is much safer to go to a bar with their Filipino girlfriends. Yes, I do agree. You have to go with somebody you know. My young lady, like, the guys won't fuck. It's weird. Like I told you guys earlier, it's weird. When guys do not act up when there's females around. I don't know why that is, but guys tend to behave themselves for the most part, not all the time, but for the most part, guys tend to behave themselves when there's females around. So if you show up at the bar with a young lady, sometimes these guys won't come up to you and try to confront you. Like they won't try to fight you, especially when your girl can speak the language they do. And, she'll be able to talk them down or like, cause I shouldn't say talk them down. My girlfriend knows how to talk shit. And that's dangerous for me. Because she will pop off at the mouth. I've learned that over time. I love it about her. She'll defend your boy to the death. And that's just something you've got to love about your girl, man. She will defend me to the death, man. She does not care. She will do what she has to do. I told her straight up, I said, yo, if I ever get into a fight and it's me against like 2 or 3 other people, all you got to do is kick one of them in the nuts and run. That's what I told her. I said, look, give me the advantage. Or at least give me a chance. Kick one of them in the nuts and then run and go get somebody. That's what I told her. I said, if it's me versus like 3 of them and it's just you and me together, kick one in the nuts and then run as fast as you can. Because at least if you take out one of them, I might have a potential chance of trying to get myself out of the situation with 2 other ones. All right, I could probably do that. But if I'd have to do 3, there's always an extra pair of hands out there that I'm not paying attention to, right? So we laugh and joke about it because I never find myself in situations like that. But I've always told her that's the rule. Kick one in the nuts and run. Go get some help somewhere. Go somewhere. I'll never find myself in situations like that. But if I did, I think that's the best thing that you can encourage a girl to do. And she'll do it too, man, without a shadow of a doubt. And she kicks hard. She kicks very, very hard. I made her practice her kicks. I did. I made her practice. I said, look, you got to practice these kicks because you only get one chance. You feel me? You only get one chance to get them nuts correctly. So if I get caught up, I'm telling you, back away, like back yourself out of the situation because they're going to think, oh, she's running away or she's going away. Wait till everybody's focused on me. The biggest one, whoever's the biggest in the group, just swift kick that nigga in the nuts and run as fast as you can because they're going to be focused on me. All right. They're not going to worry about you because you're small, you're dainty or whatever you call them. So kick one in the nuts and then run as fast as you can. And she's been practicing them kicks. She's been practicing them kicks. I said, you got a swift kick. I said, baby, you got to kick like your life depended on it because my life depends on how hard you kick that dude. Because if you can incapacitate him for the time of the duration of this fight, I'm good. All right. So that's the best thing you can tell your girl going out in public with your young lady. Just make sure she's got on a pair of shoes that A, she can run in, and B, she can kick as hard as she can in. Okay. And he should be good. He should be good. My man PH Balance was good, man. Literally like a titty. Bro, I did say that shit, didn't it? My bad. I don't know what the fuck I was saying. But yeah, man, she gotta be on point. You gotta make sure your girl's on point. If she ride or die, she'll do it too. She won't run scared. I have to tell her to run. She will not run. She'll try to fight. That's why I love her, but I hate her because she'll sit there and try to fight. And now I got to worry about protecting her ass. And that's one thing I can't do. I can't protect myself and you at the exact same time. Okay. So that's why I tell you, kick and run. Kick and run. We practiced this, a multitude of different times. Kick and run. So yeah. My man says if you live like a local, you'll have to be careful because they'll expect you to drink as much as them, and you ain't ready. Oh, I ain't never gonna try to outdrink no Filipino. I will embarrass myself where I stand. All right. Shout out to my man Liam Johnson. I see you guys. I'm late. It probably, you know what? It probably was a traffic agent. You're right. I think it was. Yeah, you're probably right. It was a traffic agent. Somebody write me a ticket. That's pretty. I don't. Like I said, I paid my $500. I called it a day. It is what it is. I ain't take it wrong. Cops are friendly to foreigners because they know that they can easily rip you off. But if you have nothing to worry, if you didn't do something bad, just avoid them at all costs. All right. I can see why you guys would say avoid them at all costs. I'm not against that. You're 100% correct. I mean, I wouldn't say, like I said, put them on your buddy list on Facebook. But, you got to be careful with who you choose to be friendly with. My man said my cousin got caught up in there and your family is responsible to bring you food on the daily. Not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen. Dude, don't go to Philippine jail, bro. Just avoid that shit at all costs. It's bad and it's sad and it's probably one of the best places to catch a disease. I'm not talking about just COVID. I'm just talking about anything. That was before COVID was even a thing. When I saw what a Philippine jail looked like, I said, Doc ain't cut out for American jail. You think I'm cut out for Philippine jail? If I had to snitch on somebody to get out, you best believe I said I owe you no loyalty, bro. I'm snitching on somebody. Get the hell up out of there. Even though I would never find myself in situations like that, you should never put yourself in positions to be in a situation like that. That's all I'm gonna say. My man says I go to bars all the time and had no problems. It depends on the bar you're going to. That's what's important. It depends on the bar. If you're going in the bar in the province, like a local watering hole, super, super local watering hole, you're lucky to make it out of there without issue. If you do have issue, I don't know how that's going to react. I don't know how to do that. Don't know how to do that one. Doc ain't made for that. Like I told you, man. Yo, they gotta keep that same energy, B. I'm telling you, man, people will be talking all that shit about COVID. I'm back to that comment now. I'm kind of funny about it, but I'm kind of skeptical too, because I'd be like, how the fuck is you over here talking that same shit? But then when somebody asks you questions about the Philippines, they dead ass believe it. Like, well, I had heard. Now all of a sudden you care about what you had heard. Man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Get that out of my face, man. Cause they be over here talking a gang of shit about the pandemic, but they will believe everything that you hear on any type of media site. Oh, Filipinos for sure, man. They love Facebook and they get all the information from the book, bro. That's one thing that I learned about. I mean, at least my young lady has the common sense to at least look at it from different social sites, because again, her news outlet isn't the same as the news outlet we have, so she'll look at different social sites before she comes to me and asks me random dumbass questions, because she know I'm gonna laugh at her first. But even then, she's not one to really talk shit about the media. But for those that do, man, keep that energy, bro. Tell them, keep the same energy. Don't sit there and cry to me about how the pandemic is bullshit and then turn around and say, well, I heard in the news that these people got I'm scared now because I heard some foreigners got decapitated out there in Samal Island. Or I heard that they kidnapped some couple in Zamboanga. Is it really safe for us over there? I don't know. That's gonna be my response. I don't know, bro. You figure it out. That's what I'm gonna tell him from here on out. Yo, figure it out. Figure it out. Because the only way you're gonna figure it out is if you actually go to the Philippines yourself. You're literally not going to hear what I have to say. You're probably not going to hear what other foreigners have to say either. So rather than ask these dumbass questions, just go there and figure it out yourself. If they kidnap you when you step off the plane, then you got your answer. That's the best way for me to tell you. If they kidnap you when you get off the plane, now you know it's not safe. Okay? There you go. Robert, man, Facebook is beyond the rolling Bible for some of these people, man. I'm telling you, bro, they live and die by that shit. They live and die by the book, bro. They live and die by the book. I love rooftop bars too. Those are pretty sophisticated areas on tops of hotels. Exactly. Earl Owens, bro. Yo, fuck all of y'all who be teasing me, because I told you it's not working, man. It don't work. It's not me. Don't ask me. Don't see, Robert, why you fucking with me, bro? Come on now. You know I'm sensitive about this topic of conversation. I know that I asked if this was a safe space. So y'all are not making the good doc feel safe in his own safe space. Huh? I can't talk about real shit anymore. See, you see how judgmental y'all can be? Really? That's how y'all gonna do me? Really? After I let y'all come into my channel? After I allegedly bought y'all to be subscribers on my channel? That's how y'all gonna do me? Really? Really? You know I'm sensitive, and I told y'all and asked y'all if this was a safe space. But yeah, man, it was rough, man. I don't play that game. I'm not cut out for that. I'm not cut out for that shit at all. Oh, man. My man said I only got drunk one time in the Philippines. It was at home with my father-in-law. He was drunk long before I was. Well, you lucky that your father-in-law didn't outdrink you, because normally Filipino people can outdrink the foreign man. At all. On all fronts. They can outdrink us all the time. A lot of us feel welcome and safe in the Philippines, myself included. Every time I step off the plane, it's like coming home. It's weird. It's a weird feeling, guys. Every time that I step off the plane, ladies and gentlemen, I feel home. I feel like I'm home. I feel like I've just went on vacation to the U.S. That's kind of what it feels like. It's weird. Normally, when most people vacation, they vacation in the Philippines. But for me, when I come back home to the U.S., it feels more like a vacation. And when I get back to the Philippines, it feels more like home. And I'm willing to express that. And I tell everybody that. Scott, what's going on, brother? He says, thanks for the stream, bro. Question, do most Filipinos assume you're from the U.S. or from somewhere else? Myself? I did a video on this. I did a video on this one. I got a 50-50 reaction on the video that I did from this. So I know my man Sam Juan probably remembers this one. I think it was hold on. I think the video was titled "Being Black." No, being African American or being Black American and being African in the Philippines or some shit like versus being Black, something like that. It did okay in the view area when I did it. Before I speak, most people will likely believe that I am African. I'll say this in truth. Before I say anything, before I speak to them, and before I have a dialogue, a conversation, any type of communication, most have asked me, from what part of Africa are you from? I will say that before I've talked to them. And when I explain to them, no, Black American, I'm from the US. So I'd probably say that most probably think that the boy is probably from somewhere on the continent. Much love to my brothers from the continent. Don't get it twisted. I love all of my brethren from all over the world. You know that. I got love for you. But a lot of people do believe, before I speak, before I say anything, before I say any word, probably that your boy is from someplace, somewhere in the continent. I don't know if it's my features. I don't know what it is, but honestly, most people do probably believe that. Now, once they know you, it's different. Like once people introduce you, it is a little different. People already know, where people are already well aware of where you're from. So that's different. But before I say anything, most people would probably, and I'm basically saying that 90% of the time that it's happened, I've had the assumption that I'm from somewhere on the continent. So I just take it in stride and I tell them, nah, I'm from the US. I tell them I've never been. And honestly, truth be told, I've never been to Africa yet. I want to go. I have all plans and intentions to go. Once everything blows over, I do put that on my bucket list as a place that I want to visit. But as of now, no, I've never been. My dad's worked over there and had plenty of project managing jobs that were awesome. He did pretty, he invited me over a couple times, just couldn't make it, busy with school and stuff. So, that's it. Yeah, for the most part, they'll mistake me probably from being from the African continent before they call me American. And how can I say this in the nicest way humanly possible? That's how most Filipinos feel. And most Filipinos probably feel, more so those that are not educated. And I'm not saying that y'all dumb. I'm not saying that. But from those that don't have any education on the history, a lot of people will likely believe that most Black people that they see in the Philippines are probably African. I mean, that's been true from history's sake. I mean, most people that you see that are Black in the Philippines usually come from Africa. So I don't really like say, well, it's their fault. They need to be educated on this. No, it's not their fault. They're just going off of what they've seen before or what's happened in the country prior. And also you have some that believe that only white people come from the United States of America. I'm going to say that, and I'm saying it to be funny, but honestly, it's true. It's so true. A lot of them believe that only white people come from the US. And again, it comes from people who don't quite know history and things like that. So look, that's the truth. So yeah. Most will think that I'm African before they think that I'm Black American. It's okay. Shit. After a while. Hey. Love me. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm having my fun tonight, man. Politicking with my kinfolk and my skinfolk. Ladies and gentlemen, I think Doc is good for the moment. I'm happy, blessed. Just good to see you guys again. I got to get up and go to work in the morning on Sunday, so I'm not going to sit here and waste too much of my time or yours. Hope you guys are having a fantastic, blessed weekend. I hope you guys are having a great Labor Day weekend. If you guys are turning up in the United States or doing something awesome, shit, pour one up for me. I'm not going to be doing that. Doc's going to be busy. But I appreciate the love, man. I always appreciate the support that you guys give me. I appreciate the consistency. I appreciate the contentiveness, or the ability to retain, or be the retentiveness for you guys to stay around and listen to me talk my nonsense and jargon for an extremely long period of time. I try my best to give you guys as much entertainment as humanly possible. Try my best to talk about things that I think you guys deserve to hear. Any topic of conversation that you think that I need to touch on, please let me know. I'll be glad to do it as long as it fits within the vibe of the channel. All right, so much love to everybody who came through. Much love to everybody who showed up and showed out. Giving honorable mentions to my man Trucker Dub. Yeah, he's been busy doing his work and shit, but I make sure I keep up with the family outside. My man Alaskan Whiskey, much love to him too. My people. These are the people that didn't show up tonight that I'm just giving my honorable mentions to. My man Derek Floyd. Shout out to Jay Black American Expat. Shout out to I'm missing one. Come on, Doc. It's a problem with getting old, ladies and gentlemen. Your boy old. I'm just shouting out people that I know you would usually be here, but they probably out doing their own thing, and they might catch the replay. I know I'm missing one, guys, but it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen. If I missed the last one, your name, my bad. All right. But I appreciate those that did show up and show out for the Good Doc, man. You guys are awesome. You guys make this fun for me. That is why I continuously come back as often as I can. I try to do it more frequently than I used to, but I gotta keep you guys wanting more by not oversaturating the market with nonsense. All right. So, John, you get a shout out. Well, John, hold up. Now, time out. 99% of the time you're here. I think, honestly, you've only missed 2 shows that I could think of recently where I didn't see you in the chat. But if you want a shout out when you're not here, brother, I'll give it to you, man. If it make you feel better, okay, you'll get the shout out too. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it has been fun. It has been real. Time for the Good Doc to get. And so with that being said, the Good Doc is officially out. At least Nakopa alone, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Maakita. Mabuhay. Peace.